Hey friends and family, what's going on? It's Tuesday, another busy day. Yesterday was great. Good day. Today I do want to talk a little bit, not so much about music, but what I want to talk about was spurred by music. I had a good visit yesterday with a musician named Matt Kucera, who I'm working with now, among other things. Just joined his, I guess you could say I've joined his band, Strange Attractors. We're playing our first show in 2 weeks. And I got involved working with Matt because he hired me to do some doo-wop vocals on his recording. But I like him, and he's an intelligent guy. But we got to talking yesterday, and I want to share some of the things we were talking about. We did listen to some music. We listened to some Todd Rundgren. We didn't specifically listen to Faithful, but I don't have the album that we listened to. And we also listened to Slayer. Now that alone should tell you something. You know, it's like, you know, to be able to listen to somebody, to hang out with somebody and go from Todd Rundgren to Slayer. That's my kind of people. But the other thing that sparked a good, deep conversation between us was that in a previous visit, we were talking metaphysics and stuff, and he brought up Alan Watts, who's someone I read as a teenager and was helpful to me in, you know, starting to look for knowledge that's helpful to my life. And I have an Alan Watts album, which I'd mentioned to him. So he said, "Oh, let's listen to that Alan Watts." And what this is spoken word, Dhyana, the art of meditation, and it's him basically, you know, with some sound effects in the background, going through, you know, talking about what meditation is, and it got us into a good conversation, and about knowledge, wisdom, and about people. And I think the thing that got us talking, it got me to pull out this book, The Four Agreements, by Don Miguel Ruiz. This is not an endorsement of Don Miguel Ruiz. I want to talk about something in the book that was helpful to me, that we discussed yesterday and was helpful yesterday. But Matt and I were talking about how when, you know, trying to not take things personally, you know, and Matt was saying that no matter how hard you try, you're always going to take things personally. It's always going to hurt. And I said, you know, there's a lot of truth to that, but I have been discovering through applying what I learned from this book that I can build up immunity to other people's stuff. And it prompted me to go through the Four Agreements right quick with Matt, mainly as a reminder to myself. But I also want to just explain that when I was a mental health specialist for 30 years, once I got turned on to this book, I wrote to this publisher several times. I'm talking at least 5 times. I could probably pull up the letters in my personal archives. This book is so good, and I taught on my job that I wanted to use it. I wanted their permission, you know. They asked for permission to use it, so I asked for permission. I never heard shit. The information is so powerful, I used it anyway, okay? And then that's what I'm going to do now, okay? Because it's not that this guy owns this stuff. It's an ancient wisdom. It's really common sense, which there's not very... It's funny how you call it common sense. Where do you see much common sense being used in this world, huh? Right quick, the book, The Four Agreements, it's 4 statements that make sense to me. I want to share them with you because when I reflect on them and try to remember them, the knowledge is useful. The Four Agreements is a tool for transformation, leading you to stop judging mainly yourself and to start practicing a better way of life. I'm paraphrasing. These 4 agreements can be used to help you to stop the guilt, the shame, the self-rejection, and they help you to break the agreements that limit your expression of creativity, and replace them with new agreements that facilitate the expression of love, which is something that we all like and need, is love, right? So again, what I'm trying to say is This is not an endorsement of this book or this author. I'm trying to tell you that there's some information that this person wrote down that I have found very helpful and useful. And when I remember it, because I don't always remember it and don't always apply it, but when I do, it makes a difference. So the first agreement, and again, to me, this is universal wisdom. It doesn't belong to one person. It just makes too much sense. The first thing, and these are hard to do, but the first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. I fail at this all the time. But look what it says. It says, speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. Now, that just, that's powerful, and I agree with it. It makes sense. It makes sense that if I'm trying to improve what's happening in my life, that the way that I communicate with other people has got to improve, and that I have to come to terms with the fact that if I'm going to go around sliming people and talking about people like dogs, then I'm going to receive that energy back. I use profanity, I like the sound of it, and yet that's not necessarily speaking with love. So that's something to think about. It's not that I think profanity is bad. It's just that, depending on how you use the words can create a response that isn't effective, okay? It's something I struggle with, okay? But the idea of being impeccable with your word, say what you mean, and try to avoid using words against people, makes a lot of sense to me, It makes a lot of sense to me. Okay, let's go to number 2, because they're powerful. They all work together. Number 2, don't take anything personally. Now, I loved teaching this because the first thing that people would say in the classrooms, usually there would be an eruption. What? You can't do that, man. That's impossible. What are you talking about? Don't take anything personal. And when I first encountered this, I thought to myself, I can't do this. But I'm working on it. It makes sense. Look how it's put. Don't take anything personally. Why? Well, nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality. What I say and do is a projection of my own reality, okay? Put it in the first person if it helps you to understand this. That's what I do. Nothing others do is because of you. It's got to do with what we see, what the person sees. Their own dream, we live in the mind. I've said it before. That's the way it appears to me. When you become immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. I've been working on this and continue to work on this because it's very true. Isn't it interesting that it is a fact that people have opinions and they're going to, and yet we still fight and go about opinions as though we don't realize that opinions are just part of being human. It's like, this is so helpful. It's like I deal with, like everyone else, a few people who for some reason want to rain in your parade or whatever. They want to make their negative presence known. And I continue to grow in immunity to these people because I understand that whatever it is they're doing, targeting me, it's not about me, it's about them. And so therefore it doesn't hurt, and it doesn't even bother me. It's like I really understand that, and this is powerful. It's hard to not take things personally, but when people do things, especially when people do things to cut at you, it's because of something they want that they're not getting. Think about that, folks, okay? Also, you folks that are in codependent relationships where you have to walk on pins and needles, or you're constantly trying to please the other person or going along to get along. Think about how miserable you really are, okay? And how much power you've given away to this person unnecessarily. There's no reason to let people lord over us, That's why I'm so upset with the way the world is, because the leaders have to use brute force to get what they want out of people. They're not benevolent. That was part of what came up in the conversation with Matt Kucera. is we were talking about the death penalty, and Matt was actually saying, well, at least they have good intentions. And I said, you know, are you kidding me? You good intentions, you know. And then I brought up the whole issue of the difference between he's white and I'm black, and how it's just historical, you know, that it's good intentions my ass, you know. And he had never thought about it. Apparently he's never had a close black friend to see that what goes for the victor is a different perspective from the person who has been vanquished as a result of the victor winning. Okay, do you follow what I'm saying? So people that come at me these days with bullshit, I don't take it personal, or at least it only takes me a second to get my bearings, because it's like I said in my video yesterday, I ain't done nothing to nobody, and I've made a lot of atonement for things I've done in my life, you know. And so for whoever wants to have beef with me now, it's on them. It's not on me. It's on them, you know. And the more they try, the more sad the person appears to me. You know, it's like, you know, what do you want, and why can't you do it for yourself? You know, it's not me. I'm not the one. So think about this, folks, and see if it applies to you. Don't take things personally. People do things because of what's inside of them, not because of you. You know, if you think that someone really treats you shitty, watch that person. They probably treat everyone shitty. It's not you, okay? You can save yourself a lot of suffering, because the bottom line is others don't. People cannot care about you more than you care about yourself. And to expect others to care about you, and then that's going to help build you up, you're going to lose. And there's a lot of people that are operating on that way of thinking, that I need people to care about me and I'll be better. You better start caring about yourself and project it outwards. That's what works, okay? So far, of the 4 agreements we've gone with, be impeccable with your words, speak with love, you know, say what you mean, you know, and try to check your motivation. If you want to slime people and be shitty to people, check yourself. What is that about? What is wrong with me when I'm being like that to others? And you, be willing to do that. When you want to strike out at other people and be shitty, what is your fucking problem, okay? Because I'm willing to do it to myself. When I'm shitty to people, what is my problem? It's not them. What is my problem? That's why I try to just not be around people whose ways don't vibe with mine, okay? If you live in a way that I don't agree with, let me just stay the hell away from you rather than causing shit, okay? So the third agreement is maybe even tougher than don't take things personal. So be impeccable with your word, don't take things personally, and number 3, don't make assumptions. Many of us have heard the popular saying, when you assume things, you make an ass out of you and me. You break down the word assume, how you spell it. But I think that sometimes people don't quite get the full gist of what you just said. Making assumptions is dangerous. And this is why we have this Cold War bullshit trying to build up now, because leaders, because they have agendas, make assumptions about the others because they're trying to get something, and they're just assuming that the other people are going to get in their way. But anyway, check this out. Don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions. Don't make assumptions. Find out is what it's saying. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. A lot of drama and death comes from misunderstandings, miscommunication, people jumping to conclusions, thinking that they know what the other person is thinking when there's no way that they do. And just all this madness happens, okay? With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. And I'm telling you, among other books and other forms of knowledge and counseling that I've received in my life, this book has been extremely helpful to me. And I forget these things, so that's why I'm doing this. Is for me too. Don't make assumptions. I don't know what other people are thinking, okay? Alrighty? And if somebody does something that I either like or I don't like, It's affecting me strongly. I need to do some. I need to check it out. I don't know why that person did that. You know what I mean? Try to find out. Don't make assumptions, and try to work on not taking things personally. Understand that we all live in our own reality. Even when we agree, we're not seeing things the same way. Try to, this information is really helpful to me. And the last one really ties it together. Always do your best. Because your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different from when you're healthy than when you're sick. The circumstances changes. Under any circumstance, just simply try to do your best. And that's all you can do. The idea of perfection, there is nothing perfect in this world. It's perfectly the way it is what you can say. So imperfection is perfection. So the idea of always being right or doing things exactly right that creates drama and suffering. Just do your best. But the conversation was really a good one. It was refreshing, enlightening, and it came at a good time because the world is a challenge, and I think a lot of people need to know this. That especially people that are throwing out a lot of negative energy and attacking others and trying to put you down. It's them. They're projecting what is wrong with them. It's not you, okay? And I'm so glad I know this. So check it out, folks. I even encourage you, if any of this made any sense, watch it again and listen again. It'll make even more sense the second time.